Ricky from Motionless In White, and you're watching PureGrainAudio. Yeah, I think that a lot of the change comes from stage production. I think that kind of stuff comes for anything else. We always try to put on the biggest and best show, so it's not just you're watching a band play. It's a show. So this last tour that we were just on, we tried to do as much as we could, but we were underneath in this moment, so it was a little hard to do everything we wanted to. But we're trying to do as much as we can for our headliner that we're planning for, and hopefully we can do everything that we wanted for that. But to go back to your initial question, mainly stage. The look comes after that. Usually people just kind of like pick what they want to personally. It's not like a band decided the thing where we're like, the band's got to look like this. It's usually everyone kind of figures it out. It's hard for me because I usually wait till the last minute and I'm like, oh god, I don't know what to wear. I think it's a little bit of both. Okay. It's a lot of Chris and I do the writing. It's actually really funny because him and I work better apart than we do together. Like, it's a lot of him and I emailing stuff back and forth and trying to piece stuff together to make the song. And then we'll have our other guitar player Ryan. He comes in every once in a while and puts his flair on stuff. And we've worked with other people as well that kind of we collaborate with. But for the most part, it's just Chris and I do most of it. Mostly through management. We did a tour with them, and they were awesome. They're very, very stand-up people. It's really funny because it seems like the bigger the band is, the more humble and down-to-earth they are. They're just like, hey man, what's up? So they were really nice when we did that, and then I think Chris sent an email to him via management that was like, hey, do you want to work on this? And he was like, yeah, I love the track, I'll do it. And that's how that happened. And yeah, it was great. Well, he hasn't done producing stuff like the previous albums. He was working like a writer, background type deal. We just felt like he has such a complex knowledge of how our band works internally that it just made sense for him to be the guy that we went with. And for this being our first album on a major label, and we wanted it to be special for him as well, because we wanted this was his, I think, biggest album that he's worked on, so we wanted it to be special for him as well. So we wanted someone that had that kind of same work ethic that we did, and someone that was willing to put the time in. It's really hard to tell where fans come from. I mean, festivals like this are really important as far as exposure goes, just because you're playing to a lot of people that wouldn't normally know who you are. Right. But yeah, like I said, from the inside, I have no idea where they come from. They just show up, and whether they heard about us on YouTube or on Facebook or whatever, it's hard to say. Everything. It's like I said before, it's a great exposure festival. There's so many diverse rock bands on it that I feel like a good majority of the people probably don't know who we are. So it's always great to play to people you don't know that don't know who your band is. So probably there's a band called Him from Finland. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Yeah. That was my favorite band. They're probably my favorite band of all time. I think we were a little apprehensive about going in some of the direction that some of the songs went in, because some of them are a lot more accessible, and I think that's while we have elements of that in previous records, it's not so in your face as it is on Graveyard Shift. So I think we were a little bit kind of apprehensive about going down that route, but once the songs started coming together, we were like, yeah, we have to do this. So it's funny because it seems like for as many people are crying about it, there's a lot of people that are like, those are their favorite songs. So do, it's like you have to respond to everyone. So I try to, but yeah, it's few and far between. So I try. Lounging. You just melt into the couch and just watch TV or do whatever.